I had a son named Phil. He was once your age. He died, so we put him in a box and we buried him.
Did you see that jerk?
Hey everybody and welcome back to What the Hell Happened to Them? A title fight is brewing. That's right, this season Eddie Murphy versus Jim Carrey. I am your host Patrick Skeyhill, and joining me on the line is a man who just got the pee in pussy, Joe Vekeman.
I just got it.
Yes, and on the audio boards is Lev Van Rensselaer, a bagpipe of insanity, reminding me to remind you that you can email the cast at whathappenedtothem@gmail.com. All right, Joe, what movie, quote unquote, are we doing this week?
We watched a 5-hour-long movie called The First Season of Kidding. Because we are real sickos.
Yeah, we somewhat have this precedent set with Julia Roberts when she did both Gaslit, but those are limited series that we knew there were only going to be one, even though Homecoming became 2, but then she wasn't in 2.
I can't wait till we do Clint Eastwood and we have to cover all the seasons of Rawhide. Isn't that what he's saying?
That'd be kind of a wild trip. I'm sure our 2 audience members for those episodes would be very appreciative. Everybody else is like, we don't know what that is.
That's how you start. You have to go through like 5 years of just episodes of Rawhide to get to him finally making a movie.
Well, on the other hand, too, like we didn't do The Rock's TV show.
Kind of, we did.
We did Ballers.
Oh, I thought you meant Young Rock.
No. Like that was how we snuck Young Rock in.
Ballers. Well, we didn't watch all like 3 or 4 years he was in the WWF.
Yeah, we didn't do that. Sandler made his TV appearances here and there, but we never covered those.
His SNLs, since we just do everything now.
We always did the Whoopi show, but that was in relation to
fun.
The episodes. So
yeah.
This one I just thought would be important because it's a director he's worked with, and he's in this weird period where he's doing like all kinds of random crazy crap. When The Rock does a TV show at that era, or the 2 TV shows he's done, it's like, okay, he just needs to put himself out there as much as possible because he's insane.
He's just padding it. He's just padding his stats at that point.
With Jim doing, it's just... I know Rock is now the highest paid actor because he paid himself the most money. But, there was a time when Jim was highest actor and he didn't need to do this TV show. He clearly chose to do this TV show. So it was just we had watched it before when this first season came on. We didn't much care for it back then. Now that we have more context for his career, I thought it was important for us to see it again. And be like, what was going on with Jim in real life? Why would he do something like this? What did he get out of doing something like this? Because he didn't have to. So before we dive into all that, what the hell happens in season 1 of Kidding?
Oh, God. Do you think they actually have something for that?
And I guess while you're looking it up, the other thing was I thought there was only 1 season of this, so it didn't feel like a big deal. I didn't realize I didn't even know they came out with a second season.
You're hold on. So... Jeff, a famous children's television icon, struggles to retain his sanity as his family falls apart.
Which is pretty decent. Yeah, Jeff, Jesus. His character's name is Jeff Pickles. The actor's name is Jim. Jim is playing a Mr. Rogers type character, and we're kind of seeing a lot of backstage drama of it and him dealing with personal grief in his life. All right, Joe. So we probably haven't seen the show in 17.
I watched the little history of this show. I've watched the first episode with Tanya at the Milford house right when we first got together because I was looking for something to watch.
Yeah.
And I was like, eh? And so we put it on and we weren't really into it.
Yeah.
Flash forward, what is this, 7 years later?
8 years later, I guess, depending on when it aired. 7.5. We'll split it.
I was so resistant to this show at first because I'm like, it's 10 episodes. I don't care if they're half hour long. That's a commitment. And then by episode 2, I'm like, you know what? Not bad. I like this show. I'm kind of into it. It's a little weird. I like how they did not make you wait to see what actually happened to his kid, or what made him so fucking sad, and like why the whole family is like grieving. They get to it almost right away with that car accident, which is just like, of course it was a car accident. But then the little brilliant thing is that it was the twin. They're twins and one of them died. So you always have the reminder of the other guy. Kid. That sucks. That's sad.
Okay, so you liked it more this time around.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Do you not like it?
No, I did too. I was...
Oh, good. Yes, good. It's good. It's a good show.
It sounded like you didn't watch the whole thing the first time
absolutely
around.
no. I watched one episode with it.
So I did watch the whole thing and was like, kind of boring. But as I've talked about a lot in the Adam Sandler remixes, and I'm sure throughout the rest of the podcast, is like what I'm looking for or appreciating in film, and I guess / TV has changed. And this movie sort of does a lot of very quiet things that's easy to miss. It's a very demanding kind of humor. It requires a strong amount of attention. And part of that is because a lot of the things are very micro actions or small character notes that it does. A lot of the humor is kind of like very drawn out before it pays off. And you're like, whoa, you pulled that one on me. And the other part, it's just like not a show that should be coming out these days because nobody has the attention span to like sit down and watch it. It also doesn't feel very good to watch some of the time, and you're like, whoa. And I don't think a lot of audiences know how to deal with kind of like less than ideal feelings.
I will tell you, I think this show really hit the next gear when he so like the Jim Carrey character is just like kind of at like a standstill in what his life is going to be, because he's like, I want to like give these kids like a real message, and like I want them to be able to like deal with grief like I'm trying to deal with grief, and I want to like put that out through songs, and I want kids to know that it's okay to lose someone, and like you just have to like confront your feelings with that. And he's trying to process this. His dad, who's like the whole thing, the thing that like popped off, or it's like it's the family. Like his sister is the puppeteer. His dad is the one that's like the head of the television like station or whatever, that's like the PBS thing that he's like kind of overseeing. And then that the fact that the dad is trying to undermine his son because he's crazy. He's not going to be able to do this now, and I need to make money. And he's my cash cow, but he's ruining it for everyone. I kind of saw a little bit of Tony's mother from The Sopranos. Like he's just trying to undermine him the whole time. He's like, he can't take care of this family. I'm going to take care of this family, and I'm going to get Tara Lipinski. Just like throw a name at a board and you get Tara Lipinski. Was she an Olympic ice skater?
She's an Olympic gold medalist, and how convenient that the Olympics are happening right now.
I know. So
and
strange.
Tara Lipinski is all over that as like a commentator, or like just
I didn't even know.
When they flash back, they're like, oh, remember when Tara Lipinski was here, blah blah blah. And I was like,
that's so funny.
What a very interesting version of Tara Lipinski she allowed herself to be portrayed as in here. Like, it's not very flattering a lot of the times.
Not at all.
They give her like a sister that she's mean to, and she's like smoking a cigarette in the background, trying to hide it.
Yeah, and the first thing on Tara Lipinski's like Wikipedia or whatever is she is an only child.
Yeah. So they give her a sister called Sarah, but she doesn't let her be called Sarah because it rhymes, so she makes her sister be called Sarah.
The Tarakeet, right?
Genius.
Then they call it the Sarakeet because Jim Carrey like flicks the light off. He's like, I want to kill something. That was fun.
Jim Carrey didn't like it because the parrot was using bad words, but that was a good way for us to know that Tara Lipinski wasn't who she said she was, because the Tarakeet was relaying all the mean things Tara was saying to her sister. So like that was the beginning of Jim and Tara's fallout, because it looked like they were getting along. And then like one thing kind of made him snap.
I do feel like they needed to possibly progress him snapping a little faster, because he doesn't really fully snap at the end of the season.
No,
He kind of has a little episode, but it's not much.
I'm okay. One, you're doing like, it seemed like they planned to do more than one season. So like you can't just have like a snapping point. It's not like the backstory episode where we meet a guy who had a snapping point and did a thing that can't be undone. And
Yeah.
I think he has just these moments of like, it looks like he's going to make a positive step and then something like regresses him.
It's so fucking sad when he meets that cancer patient and they have this crazy affair, and it's like, it's not really a affair, but like they're just like, they're so in love with each other, and like she's in love because she's like, I don't care, nothing matters anymore, and he's just like, yeah, cool, I just like being happy right now. Then as soon as she finds out she's in remission, she's like, bye. it's at like Thanksgiving dinner, and it's just like, fuck you, and they're all screaming fuck you at her, and he's just like, I kind of figured this was gonna happen. And then he pays off her credit card debt, and I'm like, who does this remind me of? Oh God.
So we talked about you had liked that the episode didn't, or the series didn't try to hide like what the accident was. They came out with it front and forward.
Yeah, no, right away.
Because like that's not, the show isn't about that accident. It's about the fallout and trying to move through it and express it. And Jim actually, he wants to do it pretty early on and be like, I want to come out and open with it. I want to talk about it. I want to like work through it. And his dad's like, no, we're not doing that. Like his dad is not letting him be authentic. And we find out in the last episode, and a little sprinkled in before then, that Jim feels he wasn't letting his now dead son be authentic either. And that's kind of the parallel of dadism. And when Jim Carrey's dad hears that, then like he's like, all right, I'm listening. And then he lets him air the show. And it's about, what it really is about is sort of self-expression of this grief. So like you have to know what that accident is early to go through that journey of trying to express it.
I was very pleasantly surprised with this series on a whole.
Yes. Especially since like nobody talks about it.
Yeah, no one is ever. We are breaking records right now by talking about this.
I mean, like, I think Jim, it's sort of not, I'm not going to compare this to Jim's other roles because he has the advantage of getting to do this for 5 hours as opposed to 90 minutes. So, like, we obviously get a lot more nuance with it. Like, he does a thing where the set of his show has, like, a little river and he, like, steps over it every time to, like, not get his shoes wet or whatever, quote unquote, even though it's just painted on. Or like when we think it's just a one-night stand with that cancer patient, he's like watering her plants outside her door as he leaves. Just little tiny moments he gets to do. A lot of listening he gets to do because people are talking at him a lot. Like he has a lot of room to play here, and he really like owns this role very well.
It's
a shame it was buried on Showtime, so no one knew about it.
And it doesn't even exist on Showtime because Showtime doesn't exist anymore.
Showtime, 10 o'clock on Sunday nights. No wonder nobody watched it.
So fucked up. You got like one of the biggest stars in the world. Plus, so they got it's kind of a great cast. We got Catherine Keener playing his sister.
Yeah.
We have Judy Greer playing his ex-wife.
Yeah, like separated wife.
Separated. Frank Langella is playing his father.
Richard Nixon himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. Also, at first I was like, why is Langella in the tanning booth so much? He is bronzed. And I'm like, does he really need to be that bronzed?
That's why he's bronze.
I guess.
He's just a tannerite, maybe.
It was just something I noticed. Feel like Tara Lipinski got a lot of work done to her face. Her lips are gigantic.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she looked like before kidding, so I can't really say.
This might sound stupid, but I feel like I have a little connection to Tara Lipinski.
What is the connection you have?
Because I feel like we read about her in the Olympics when we were really young.
Maybe.
Right?
I don't know. I remember Tara Lipinski's name.
When was her Olympics?
I don't know. I remember Michelle Kwan a lot more than Tara Lipinski.
Yeah, I remember her too.
But they got a good joke on it where Michelle Kwan gets brought up and Jim Carrey's like, oh, I think I've heard of her. And Tara's like, no, you haven't, because he's a 47-year-old Frenchman.
Oh, absolutely. I was in like third or fourth grade when she was doing this. They're doing her like Olympics tour thing. Yeah, no, she just looks like she had a little work done, which is fine, whatever. But you're only 40, so chill out.
Okay, so we talked about that. Yes, Frank Langella's his father, and he runs the show, and Catherine Keener's his sister, and she's like the main puppeteer. And they do the Modern Family thing where at the end of the episode we realize they're all actually related to the same family. I think it works better here than in Modern Family because that reveal happens after each of those three families has a separate storyline, and then they happen to all just like come in together. Here, we get to see them in the context of their work relationships. We think of them only as co-workers, and we have the power dynamics based on that. And then, when they come together at the end, we get to essentially add another shade of color to their relationships because they're family. It almost feels a little fucked up after having only experienced them as a working relationship. So I thought that was a good strategy. Narratively.
Do we know why it's called Kidding?
Yeah, I know. I guess, like, when I first started watching it, I thought he was more of a comedian rather than, like, a children's performer.
Me too.
But maybe that was what it was early on in development. And then over time, it became more of, like, a Mr. Rogers thing instead.
Yeah.
Right? You know, a stand-up comic who wants to talk about grief, and then it morphed to, like, because there's that story of the painting guy and how he used to be, like, in the war and channeled it into the painting. And even in this show, some of the kids think that Mr. Pickles, Jim Carrey's character, has a similar backstory. So I think a lot of that was filtered in here. Justin Bateman served as executive producer on this. Did you see that?
I did. That was interesting. Don't know why.
Yeah, he's like the only name, you know, obviously there's Michael Gondry directing it, but like Hollywood people stepping in, as an actor, that's the one that steps out of my mind.
Yeah, he directs, and I know that, and I know he likes to like get his hands all over the place in productions, but if he's just producing it, it's very strange.
Yeah, but like it feels like a type of humor or subject matter he would enjoy. So like maybe that was what brought him on. Maybe he has some connection to Jim and he got Jim on board, and like that could have been the amount of EPing he did.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Do you have anything on Jim's relation to the show?
I've got this. There's nothing about this at all. The show is dead and buried.
You just get to do a lot of conspiracy theorizing.
Definitely. So even like the viewership on this, like the ratings, it like craters after the first episode. Like the first episode doesn't even have 500,000 viewers, and they're like, that's enough.
Okay, well, when you didn't want to do the show though, and you were throwing these numbers in my face, what else was on Showtime at the same era, and like how were those ratings?
Well, okay. Well, I know Shameless was on still. So I'll look up Shameless.
Yeah, Shameless is a show that got like 8 seasons, 10 seasons,
12
seasons. So like, what's that show pulling in if it can do that?
It went right up to 2020, so it was on the entirety of the pickles. So that show is getting at least 1 million.
Okay, in 2018.
In 2018, okay. Well,
right when the show's on, what's that show getting?
So Shameless and season 8 is getting 1.86.
Okay,
that's their one. That's why they're getting 8 seasons already. At that point.
That's like the moneymaker for Showtime. Yeah. Interesting that once that show ends, so does Showtime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, season 10. So season 10 and season 11 aired in the same year.
Burn off.
It really was, but like that's crazy. That's 24 episodes. It's like old school shit. Yeah, and that their ratings just kind of become like half of what they were. Yeah, so that was like their big thing for a little while. Shameless went from 2011 to 2021. That's crazy. Those kids grew up on that show.
Yeah, I didn't watch Kidding on Showtime, though. I watched it on Hulu.
Oh, you know what aired the year before this show?
What?
For 18 straight episodes?
What?
The Return.
The Return?
Yeah, on Showtime. Twin Peaks, The Return.
Oh, I bet those ratings did pretty good.
No. You think those ratings were good?
I think they could be shameless good.
I believe they're awful. I'll look them up, though. Pretty sure they were bad. 500,000. So that's the first 2 episodes back-to-back air. Then you get a 0.19.
It's interesting. The Return is on with about the same amount of ratings as Kidding, and The Return feels like maybe we're just in certain. I feel like a lot more people are talking about The Return than Kidding, but maybe that's just the circles we're in. Maybe America at large.
I think it is the circles we're in because Kidding runs circles around The Return.
But I also feel like nobody's really talking about Shameless either.
Oh, well, that really has its own subculture.
I guess I feel like what we're learning here is there's a reason Showtime isn't around anymore.
Of course.
Right.
No, Showtime. It was always the lesser one.
Is it a branding thing? Like if The Return is on HBO, is it a much bigger hit? Is it just something about Showtime that nobody knew about Showtime?
I think he tried to shop it at HBO, but they didn't do it. And then The Return, it was only supposed to be 10 episodes. And then David Lynch was like, I'm not gonna do this unless you do 18. And they're like, what? No, we didn't pay for that. And he's like, I need more money. You gotta give me more money. And they're like, well, I guess we're already sunk into this. It's like he's a little psycho. But yeah, HBO is definitely the reason why it's still around. The other big show on Showtime was Dexter, which had amazing seasons. And they keep bringing back Dexter too. There's new blood.
So who owns Dexter now then?
CBS? Because it's like CBS and Showtime were a thing.
Yeah. Okay. And now Kidding's impossible to stream.
Yeah, I bought it on Prime because I just was sick of trying to look for it.
And it looks like they didn't even they have DVDs of it, but not Blu-rays.
Yeah, well,
it's 2018. You couldn't make a Blu-ray.
It's a lot easier to just print a shitty DVD. it's like half a penny.
But how much more expensive is a Blu-ray?
Probably $2. Well, do you want to spend half a penny or $2? All
right. I thought the music was quite good.
Yeah.
In the show, we're both fans of Eternal Sunshine.
Yes.
So how did you feel about Michael Gondry's directing in the show?
Less annoying than his twee shit that he does a lot. Because I just think of the movie The Science of Sleep, and I just want to pull my eyes out.
Well,
it's too twee. It's that was a time and a place in my life where I was like, this is the best shit, and now I'm just like, enough of this. Stop. It's too much. But yeah, I feel like it was pretty restrained in certain ways, and then and then he really executes his shit in more impactful ways.
Some early things that stood out to me is there's Jim buys the house next to his wife that he's estranged from.
A psychotic thing to do.
And he's spying on them through the windows, and the camera follows him through 2 different windows on the first floor. Then as the other family, his original family, is going up the stairs, we follow Jim up the stairs, and we kind of tell a story just by looking through those windows to reveal that there's this other person in her wife's life, kind of raising his children. So I thought that was a very strong sequence, and it's all one shot, and we had to travel through 2 stories of a set to do this. There's also he has this viewer that he meets up with, and she was a cokehead, but her show sort of taught her this idea of self-worth, and she gets her life together, and we see her slowly renovate her apartment as this episode of the TV show's on. I thought that montage was very effective too. And that's the first couple episodes. Then there's a bunch of small things. There's this little girl has a The daughter of the puppeteer makes her own puppet, and it's made out of like her missing baby teeth that the mother can't find to do tooth fairy stuff with. But that was a funny joke. There's like pacing things that are interesting. You know, Jim Carrey like is making this cake to try to win his wife back, and he just drops it as he gets out of the car. We just hold that shot for like, I don't know, 10 seconds as he's just looking at the cake on the ground.
There's a little bit where Catherine Keener's character is talking to another puppeteer who speaks in another language, but then when he communicates through the puppet, he can speak in English.
Yes, they both...
I like that.
There's this voiceover that begins with the two puppeteers. One is a Japanese man learning to be Jeff Pickles, Jim Carrey's character, for the Japanese children. The other is his sister, and so like that's how they're communicating. Like that's a nice little moment there.
And she just keeps asking, like she's like, "Fuck me." And he's like, "I can't. I can't."
There's a long tradition of all the Pickle-sans. We have to take a vow of chastity. And she's like, "How many have there been?" And he's like, "Well, I'm the second, but still."
That's good stuff.
Early on, Jim has that one night stand, so we think, with the cancer patient, and she's never getting back to him. Like he's texting her. First of all, he texts her like shortly after he gets into work, and then is like, "Hey, would you like to meet up again?" He's got a flip phone at the beginning, so he closes the flip phone after he texts her, puts it in his pocket, and then takes a step, and then immediately takes it out of his pocket to check to see if he got a response. But anyway, he goes through the whole episode thinking, like,
going to end badly.
Is my phone broken? And then he goes to the store to get a new phone, and the store guy's like, no, your phone's not broken. And then he's like, well, then clearly her phone must be broken. And then Judy Greer comes over, and she's like, her phone's not broken, you dummy. I live in reality. She doesn't like you. It's less colorful, but it is what it is. And then she leaves, and then, like, we're really tight on Jim, and all of the color design and the production design gets a lot, and the lighting gets a lot darker, gets a lot more desaturated, as it looked like Jim's letting this reality, this dark, heinous reality set in. But then he gets a text from her saying, "Oh, sorry, I haven't been getting back to you. My phone's been broken." And then all of the color and the lighting, and it returns. We're so tight on Jim, it might even be easy to miss that change happening in the background. But it's very subtle. It works off of what Judy Greer has just said, and it really, I don't know, like there's attention to detail Michael Gondry's done, which is, I feel like a lot harder to do over the course of shooting a 10-episode series than it is over a feature film. There's just a lot of moving pieces in a 10-episode series, so good for him.
So he was supposed to direct 10, I see, but then he only was able to direct 6.
Okay. I just felt like I was always seeing his name at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, he directed the majority of them.
So I guess, I don't know. I didn't keep track of that, so I don't know which episodes to credit him for and which ones not to. So
to jump a little bit to the end,
yeah,
I am just a little foggy on the sequence of events, but he's talking outside to his estranged wife's new boyfriend, and he's like, "I think you're cool. I like you." And then the boyfriend calls him out and saying, "You bought the house next to your ex-wife? Like, that's a little demented." And he's just like needling him a little bit. But then there's something else that he says to him, right? What am I missing?
Yeah, you've got him a little reverse. So Jim Carrey's coming over.
Well, because the whole thing starts with the boyfriend goes over to the house because there's like a party going on, and he catches some kids like smoking pot or something.
Yes. So Jim Carrey's son is over at the house because he and his friends know that the house is owned by somebody but seems to be largely abandoned. So they're having like one of those high school parties over there. People are drinking and smoking. The boyfriend goes over there to like get them to shut up because their party's being obnoxiously loud, stupid teens. None of them are realizing like, hey, maybe we should turn the music so the cops don't come.
Yeah.
Ruin our
They're
party
all
pad.
way underage. They're like 14.
Yeah, exactly. But as he goes upstairs as the boyfriend goes upstairs to figure out who owns the goddamn place to get him to turn off the music, he sees all of, Jim Carrey's character being a TV host, he has like 12 of the same outfit.
Same, like,
the Mr. Rogers-esque outfit. So
yeah,
he knows immediately who bought the house. He's like, this is fucked up. And he goes outside, and that just happens to be as Jim is coming over to go on a walk with Judy Greer.
Yep.
that Judy Greer had like hinted at, because they've started to rebond again after their son gets into trouble at school.
Yep.
And the boyfriend immediately lays into Jim. He's like, this is fucked up. And Jim's like, yeah, I know, dude, I'm sorry. I was all freaked out. Like, I bought this place before I knew you, and it turns out you're actually a pretty good dude, and I'm glad that my son's in your hands. So, like, they do have that reconciliation after the fight.
So, but something else, doesn't he say something else?
Yes, so then to get into the cliffhanger moment of the season,
Yes.
the guy is, now that the boyfriend and Jim seem to be cool, the guy's like, oh, hey, would you like to, like, smoke a little joint? And, like, maybe that'll take some of the edge off of you.
Yeah.
And that's the moment where Jim kind of has a turn
Jim's
again.
Like, what the fuck?
Right? And it's just like with the other thing we were talking about earlier. Like, it looks like it's going fine. Like, with Terry Lipinski, it looked like it was going fine. And then, like, he found out she was actually a very mean person.
And then she gets her throat slit by her sister.
Yes. That went pretty hard, I'll tell you.
That was like, whoa! And then I said it to myself before it happened, and I'm like, what is he gonna get run over? And then he fucking gets like, just like, whomp! Like the new boyfriend gets run over by Jim. And I'm like, okay.
Jim Carrey's like, no, man, I don't smoke. Jim Carrey, very strong anti-drug person. The episode opens with with a quote unquote old clip of the show as sort of non sequitur of Jim essentially doing a PSA about drugs and not to do drugs. So this clearly is a big sticking part with him. We've known all season Jim doesn't like his son smoking pot.
Yep.
And now this guy that's raising his kid has just offered him some pot.
Wasn't the kid smoking on the couch with his grandfather?
Yes.
And like that kind of freaked him out.
No, I don't know if Jim knew they were smoking, but he knew they were having... No, I thought
the kid was kind of freaked out that the grandpa was like, why are you smoking with me?
Yeah, the kid thought it was weird. So anyway, the kid didn't start smoking pot with the new boyfriend, but Jim doesn't know that. So it makes sense to me Jim would assume that he is the reason why. And so Jim now feels betrayed. He's just like, I bought into your act. I thought you were good for my kid, and now you're...
Yeah.
Jim obviously regrets running him over with his car later and maybe didn't even fully realize he was doing it. It just was like another breaking point for Jim, right? And that's how we know, like, all right, Jim has worked through some grief, but not, the grief perhaps of the loss of his son he's worked through, but not the loss of his family.
Do you think by the end of season 2 he's going to be cooking meth with a student of his?
No, I don't think so. So we don't know, right? We know there's a season 2, but I guess I don't know yet if they had planned for a season 3. Like, Jim, I don't think would come back to do 11 seasons of this like the people on Shameless.
William H. Macy, I know he's not on the same level as Jim Carrey, but that's a huge commitment to an actor who is pretty well established at that point. Academy Award nominated.
Because when you do Jurassic Park 3, I feel like your career hasn't gone the way you want it to.
That's the one you jump to.
That makes me think like, oh, maybe this is a guy that will need to do TV someday.
I mean, yeah, he's obviously not anywhere near the level of Jim Carrey, but it's still a huge commitment.
I guess, like, again, if we don't know why Jim did the show, if Jim really, really loved the show, maybe he would. But also, I think you don't want this type of show to go on too long anyway.
No, 3 seasons
because you're going to run
max.
out of stuff to do without it going completely crazy.
Found out a lot of the series that I like.
Yeah.
3 seasons.
Yeah. I see you like all the Netflix things then.
No, not at all. I don't watch many. I don't think I've...
Netflix loves the 3-season special, so they don't have to pay people extra.
What have I watched on Netflix that I was like, yeah, good?
Wednesday.
I've never seen an episode.
What else does Netflix have for TV shows? The Ranch.
Never seen an episode of The Ranch.
They have 3 seasons. The total show is like 120 episodes.
Wow. They did an anger management.
Yeah, that's what they did.
One season's 10 episodes. The second season's 90 episodes.
Yeah.
Burn them off. Yeah, and that starred Charlie Sheen.
Well, that was why they did 90 episodes, because they were like, we're not going to give you the time to go crazy and ruin this show like you did your other one.
Yeah, you did what, 10 seasons of the other one?
Yeah, 10 seasons, and then was that show 12 seasons? Because there were 2 without him.
I think it was 12. I'll double check.
Big Bang Theory, I know, was 12.
That's crazy.
Well, Big Bang Theory was the number one show in America for most of those years and stayed the number one, sitcom in America. 2.5 Men had a notable decline in audience share.
2.5 Men ran from 2003 to 2015. So it did the back half of the Bush administration and almost the entire Obama administration.
12 years will do that. Yep.
That's crazy.
2.5 Men had one of the worst series finales I've ever seen.
Is that when they tried to bring Charlie back but didn't really bring him back?
Yeah, it was like a complete meta shifting, winking at the camera.
Yeah, no, and they showed
total tonal change of the whole series.
Yeah.
It was oddly self-absorbed.
262 episodes. They're dining pretty good on that.
Yeah. Charlie Sheen's royalties are fine. Plus, perhaps he has anger management royalties. I don't know. I don't know if that show is airing anywhere or streaming anywhere.
Even in the season of the writer's strike, they still managed to get 19 episodes done. That's crazy.
I mean, those episodes were like fast food. They were McDonald's. You just crap them out in a day. There's not continuity for the most part. So maybe they just had a bunch in a drawer just in case of emergency.
Yeah, the ratings were really great for that show. But the only time it ever cracked the top 10, and it was 10, was in 2012.
When everybody wanted to see the change.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It was never in the top 10 though for shows. James Burrows directed the pilot.
Shocked. I'm shocked.
Guy's dining out forever.
More money for Jimmy over there.
Yeah, so we're gonna do season 2 next week, right? That's the plan.
So does Eddie have anything in between Sonic and season 2 of Kidding?
So that would be in 2020. So the answer is no.
Well then, yes, I suppose we're doing this because I don't think Jim has anything else.
No, the next after this it'll be Eddie.
Okay, so it's Jim shoots this in 2018-ish, then shoots Sonic in 2019. It comes out in 2020, then shoots some more Kidding.
Yep, and then 2020 is the last season of Kidding.
And then he's just on a Sonic train after that?
Yep, 2 more Sonics.
Okay.
So the next Eddie project is in 2021.
Post-pandemic.
Yes.
So I guess they were shooting Kidding somewhat in 2019 then, if the show's coming out in 2020.
Oh, yeah, completely shot in 2019 because it was in February. So it's right after Sonic came out.
All right, so he was doing this and Sonic concurrently. That's interesting. So he's doing big blockbuster film alongside weird tiny little Showtime thing.
So is it a wig? Is he wearing a wig?
Long beautiful hair, shining, gleaming, steaming, flash of acid. Give me down to there, shoulder length longer. Here, baby, there, mama, everywhere, daddy,
I would think so.
Because I didn't realize, why does he have that hair? And then I'm like, oh, his son has the same haircut that he has. They both have that long shoulder-length hair.
I think it's kind of the reverse.
Uh-huh.
Right? Because the whole thing is Mr. Pickles can never change, right? That's what his father's doing. Jim's trying to change and adjust to his new life situation, and his father won't let him. So if Mr. Pickles has to always wear a wedding ring, I imagine he always had that haircut. So I think his kids have that haircut because he has the haircut. That would be my guess. I don't think he suddenly got a new haircut when his son died, especially since in the flashback we see that his kids have that too.
I guess Judy Greer also has that same haircut.
I thought it was actually very smart for them to do a flashback episode 8 episodes in.
They did.
Right? Yeah, I know. That's why I thought it was smart. We end on
So you like that trope?
Well, I've seen it done badly. I think here it was very effective, though. Just like with us having to recontextualize the family dynamic when we finally find out they're family after seeing them working together. I think seeing this sort of post-tragedy and pre-tragedy dynamic play out works well. And they put it in an interesting spot where it's he just has this big freak out and he trashes his dad's office and it looks like he's had a snapping moment. And then we do an episode which is essentially a backstory of a tertiary character that we've only seen bits and pieces of and how they got involved in Jim's life and trying to figure out how does this relate to that thing? And it's about a different character's breaking point. And so this is a guy who understands, it's probably the only guy in that moment who could understand why Jim what he did at that mini cliffhanger at the end of 7. going to 8. And I think having that context too gives us insight into some information that comes out in the last 2 episodes. So it's this like a nodding episode. It kind of clears up a lot of stuff for us that we might not have been able to figure out, to give that climax more juice and to add more color to what we've already seen.
No, I mean, I liked it.
The one I think is easy to miss is Catherine Keener. Right, the whole family has to do charity. Like, that's Jim's main condition for doing the show, is they have to donate most of their money.
And then she says that she's never really donated the money that she's been saving up.
She's talking to the family people about, like, going on these trips to these, like, Belize and stuff to help out these people. But it turns out she's just going and giving herself a vacation.
Good for her.
Right? And then 2 episodes later, we find out that part of that is because she's been pocketing a lot of that money as she's planning for a divorce. So, like, I thought that was interesting context. Seeing Jim's relationship with both of the kids is something. Seeing that the bad kid now was actually the good kid and the dead son was the bad kid. Bad, quote unquote, the disobedient one, we should probably say.
That kid sucked.
The rabble-rouser causing a lot of issues, and the other son wanted to be the good son. But now he feels like he has to take up the mantle of the disobedient son.
Yeah. I just wanted to also call out one more scene that I really liked, which was when they're in that the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
And the kids do the magic trick.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very playful and like weird and like kind of psychedelic, like what's going on, because Jim's like kind of having a mental breakdown.
Yeah, and it's like a sneak. Like we've seen like little bits of like the psychic breakdown, and they kind of trick us because Judy Greer seems to be noticing this too.
Yeah.
And then it looks like a large chunk of that brunch or lunch that we've been seeing, actually never happened.
Yes.
And we get a second moment too of like Jim imagining he and his wife getting back together in that sequence in the restaurant, and then kind of like in the snow at a baseball diamond, and it turns out like both of those didn't really happen the way Jim thinks that they did. I think those were some smart moments they put in there too, because it feels like it's wrapping up. Like, it looks like the show's gonna get canceled because Jim like finally is on national TV and says honest things. I think the standout line was like, I know your parents don't deserve you and they're not doing all these nice things to you because they leave you with me. They put you in front of the TV, and then they're not in your life anymore for that duration.
And then he says the great line that he does for the pull string doll, "I'm listening," because that's what his son was just asking for him to do.
It looks like he's had a meltdown, and all the affiliate PBS stations are going to not air the show, but then all the kids are like still supporting the show, so it looks like they're going to get to keep the show.
And then there's a giant line of kids.
Looks like they're going to get to keep the show. It looks like everything's like going to have this big happy ending because it looks like the family might get back together. And then it turns out like a good chunk of that family stuff is in Jim's head. So like we don't get that clean ending, which is why I think season 2 will focus a lot more on Jim trying to get the family back, or Jim accepting that the family isn't getting back together.
Oh, you're calling a shot.
Because like that's the thing that hasn't kind of wrapped up yet. The show thing seems to be somewhat safe. Jim seems to have had a cathartic moment when they finally do air that episode that they shot way back in the first episode of the series about the death show. It gets to be aired. It seems to be helping some people. I don't know. I think that the flashback episode, too, is important because it's another episode about death, right? It's somebody else's death that Jim is helping them get through. So, like, it just is a nice recontextualization. Or it's like, usually around this time, you get, like, what's called the plot recap. At this stage in a movie or at this episode in a series, we kind of, like, look back on everything we've gotten to, see how we got there, and then, like, we now have set the stage for what's to come to wrap things up. And they do it this way by kind of gently reminding us of the first 7 episodes by doing this prequel thing that happens a year before all those 7 episodes happen. I thought it was well done. I thought this was a very strong show that nobody will ever remember. And this podcast episode will probably get like 30 to 100 people because that's what our lower rated episodes get. The stuff that like nobody's seen or heard of. Early Jack Nicholson films, like this is kind of where they're living.
Ensign Pulver. What is that one?
Ensign Pulver? Yeah, like nothing. The Whoopi season doesn't even do super great.
Whoopi's great.
Like the Nun movie does all right, but the Color Purple films I think did well, but like the movie came out around that time. Yeah. Whoopi's not pulling them in. I don't think Kidding is pulling. That's not the Jim Carrey product people think of.
Oh, I hope the Sonic episode does gangbusters.
Yeah, I haven't checked those numbers yet. That episode just came out yesterday, but I'm sure it will. It's the same reason Black Adam did well. Just people seeing us be miserable is my guess.
Sonic was bad. This was such a nice little, like, balm.
Well, for you in particular, you haven't been enjoying Jim at all lately.
No, this is very highly ranked now because I found it on Letterboxd.
It is on Letterboxd. Huh.
It's like a special feature, but I'm just like repurposing it as the season 1.
Oh, I see.
So you'll see when you see my thing.
Because Gaslit was on for Julia, but not Homecoming.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, I don't know how they decide what gets to come on or not. Yes, I have been liking Jim Carrey's 2010s. Even if I don't like the movies, I like the different types of roles he's been trying to do, and this is a very strong role. Again, he's got 10 episodes to craft it, but there's a lot of this character to like here, and Jim, I think, the role fits him like a glove, and I think he's really nailing it.
Easily the best thing he's done in 10 years.
I know. I don't. When we do our wrap up, I don't think we should compare this to the other things because he has more time here, and it's like unfair.
Yeah, well,
right. The closest thing we could compare it to is his Dr. Robotnik role because it's roughly the same amount of time, season 1 of this and 3 Sonic movies.
Fire Marshal Bill.
But again, yeah, did he do that for many years? Sure, but they're like 5 minutes at a time, so
yeah, I know.
It probably is less than a half hour.
He did 2 Ace Venturas.
He did, yep. That's 3 hours. This season here is 5 hours, plus another 5 hours we'll get later on.
Well, we have no idea how many times Dr. Robotnik will be played.
That's true. He could someday match season 1 of Kidding.
We might get 10 Sonic sequels. Man,
I hope season 2 doesn't ruin this show.
Well, it has the potential to. Most seasons.
Like, I just didn't even hear of it. But I guess I wouldn't have heard of Kidding season 1 if you hadn't brought it up to me.
Well, the thing is, the last episode airs the week before the pandemic.
Okay.
I looked at it, I'm like, wow. And they could have spaced it out, but they doubled up the last 2 episodes. So there's a double 1 hour, like, last episode.
One of these 1 hour finale things. Yeah, that's not uncommon, though.
To avoid being put out on the day that everything closed down.
Yeah.
Because it would have aired the 14th.
I feel that's the time you do it, though, is like, all right, well, they're not going anywhere. Right.
They're not going to make any more, though. They already canceled it.
No, I guess that at that point, you're like, fuck it, burn it.
Burn them out.
Well, had they canceled it at that point, as the show's airing, did they know they weren't doing anymore?
They had to have known as soon as season 2 with, like, no one's, like, there's no fanfare. They're like, just burn these off.
Yeah, maybe when they began it, they had to do 2 seasons. Like, maybe that was part of the initial contract.
I believe the first season airs in the end of summer, early fall.
Uh-huh.
And then this one aired in January, the second season.
Yeah, but it's been 2 years, so maybe they're just like, all right, we don't want to make people wait 2 full years, year and a half.
That's true, but I just feel like, yeah, the first one aired during September 9th, 2018. Oh, well, it got officially canceled in July. There you go.
Okay, so they had finished airing it, and then 5 months later, they were like, all right, we're not going to come back.
Yeah, we're done.
But that makes sense. Like, obviously, the show's ratings aren't great, but who knows what Showtime's looking for, what bar they're looking for. With it being in the middle of COVID, like, a lot of things got canceled there just due to hassles.
Of course.
You don't know how long it's going for. Jim doesn't want to stay locked under contract, and he's like, well, I don't know when you'll do 3. You don't know if you're going to get all those people together again. I guess that sounds to me like we're going to, like, end on another cliffhanger at season 2, and it's never going to get to be resolved.
Don't we love that?
That's going to be annoying.
It finished with a .01 rating. God, that's brutal.
Yeah, but, like, nobody knew.
Yeah, I mean,
I had seen Kidding season 1. I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I don't think I would have watched it based on how I felt about Kidding season 1 the first time, but...
Well, Jim Carrey, for the first season, the Golden Globes nominated him for Best Actor.
Well, that's familiar.
Television series, musical, or comedy. And the series was also nominated for Best Series, musical, or comedy. Did not win.
What did he lose to?
Okay, so this would have been 2019. So... it lost to The Kaminsky Method.
That's wrong.
Barry, The Good Place, Kidding, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and the Kaminsky Method won.
That's like the one with the least amount of footprint besides Kidding.
I mean, it does star Michael Douglas and Alan Arkin, though, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one with Jane Fonda, too? I don't know. I have never seen 1 second of the Kaminsky
But like
Method.
Barry's still going, isn't it? The Marvel's Miss Maisie's still going.
Barry would have ended in 23 or 22.
Okay.
I think it ended in 22. The Good Place, I had never watched an episode of that. And
when I was doing stuff with some of the TV writers in my grad program, like Maisel, Good Place, Barry, those were all shows they were all gaga over. Nobody was talking about the Kaminsky Method. I'm not saying they were talking about Kidding either, but like it's just crazy that the Kaminsky Method beat those other 3 shows.
God, Michael Douglas won for the Kaminsky Method. He beat Jim Carrey.
Jim got robbed.
So listen to this is insane. Sacha Baron Cohen for Who Is America? Okay. Jim Carrey for Kidding. Donald Glover for Atlanta and Bill Hader for Barry. And Michael Douglas wins. That's bullshit. Someone paid for that.
It's the Golden Globes, whatever. I don't take it to heart.
Ugh. They didn't even give it to Alan Arkin, though, and he was nominated.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's, obviously there's a lot we missed. If you guys were following along with us and watching all of season 1 of Kidding, it's just, it's 5 hours is a lot to go through. We can't touch on all, and there's just so many nice little moments we can't get to. We try to look at broad strokes.
That year, Julia Roberts was nominated for Homecoming, and she lost to Sandra Oh for Killing Eve.
Okay. What are your last looks on season 1?
Last looks. Pleasantly surprised. Please. It's worth the investment of 5 hours, at least the first season.
It was. You can't just put it on though while you're doing something else. You can't. It's not a work watch. It's not a laundry fold. You got to look at it. You got to engage with it.
I mean, I was making dinner for my kids.
Well, I'm glad you were able to enjoy it. When I was absentmindedly watching it, I was not.
It was only for the first 2 episodes that I was cooking.
All right. My last looks. Why does Jim Carrey do this TV show? Yeah.
Why do you do it?
I mean, it is an interesting role. Why does he feel like why do you do TV when you don't have to do TV? Showtime could not have afforded to pay you that much.
This is the trajectory that you were envisioning him to be going on after The Bad Batch and Dark Crimes. This is kind of the next step for him to be doing something different.
Yeah,
instead of just being Wacky Jim.
He's doing literally whatever he feels like. It's interesting. He's yeah, I'll just do TV. It's okay. This is a juicy role for him, so I get it. All of his puppet voice work is great.
Well, he saw his co-star from Batman Forever doing all those juicy television roles. You know who I'm talking about, right? Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. Well, she wasn't that yet, was she?
Yeah, she was doing Big Little Lies.
Oh,
Tons
that's
of Big
right.
Little Lies.
I'm seeing a million CBS Paramount Plus commercials with her now, so I do think of her as TV lady now, but was she then?
She is trying to do everything. She's trying to get another erotic thriller off the ground right now. Good for her. At her age.
Yeah, right? At that fuck it age, right? And Jim Carrey's at not only that fuck it age, but that fuck it
age of 60-something.
That fuck it tax bracket. I don't know. I thought this makes a lot of sense. After one episode, I was yeah, I don't know who else could. Thought you would give me a list of who they wanted first. And I couldn't imagine anyone else doing this role. I think Jim's doing such a great job with it and finding all these different layers of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's working great. Okay, well, let's thank Lev Rensselaer for minding those audio boards and keeping us sound so slippery smooth. I'd like to thank Joe Vekeman for stopping by.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And join us next week for Season 2. I am your host, Patrick Scaly. You can find my features, documentaries, short films, video essays, animations, behind-the-scenes footage, and so much more at QuixoticUnited.com and social media, presumably with a similar-sounding name. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say goodnight.
Good night.
Your daughter's got 80s day at school.
Seems like it, I guess.
That made sense when we were growing up, It was something our parents lived through. Now it's just a historical... They're not let's do 40s day.
No, the 80s are the 50s now.
Okay, but we didn't do 50s Day either. You know,
we definitely did 50s Day
we
with the
did not
poodle
do
skirts and
50s
all
Day.
that, and the cool sunglasses.
We did 80s Day. That was actually kind of it.
80s is like so weird because it's like right before our time.
Yeah, why aren't they doing 90s Day? That would make sense. Everybody looks like Rachel.
They should be doing 2000s Day because that was just right before their time. 90s is also like, that's like their 80s.
I feel like a lot of the parents now would be from the 90s.
Yeah, the parents.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I'm saying when we were supposed to do the 80s, that was like just right before like that. I was born technically in 89, but like it's right before everyone was born. That's why it should be the 2000s because that's right before they were all born.
All right, so everybody looks like in sync.
I was gonna say they look more like Kesha.
Kesha was Kesha the two? I don't know who the hell that is, actually.
I watched this thing called Record Breakers, and it was just this like 3-minute video of showing all of the crazy record breaking artists over the last like 50 years. And the way that Kesha just storms over 2010, and then she is
well, that's not
gone
the
from the
2000s.
charts. She was gone from the charts. It was crazy.
That's
She's
the
like
2010s, different decade.
It was like 2009, 2010. She's like rising up in 2009, and then 2010 she's at the top with the most streams and the most like downloads or whatever. And then 2011, not even on the charts. She's not charting at all anymore. She's gone. It's crazy. And then so the fun thing is to watch Michael Jackson kind of just like run the table on the 80s and the 90s. He's just like all over the place. I'm like, oh. Then Madonna takes over on the 90s and then yeah. And
what is the visual design of the 2010s
for this?
For kids.
For
like if they were like, all right, kids, we're doing 2010s Day. What do they look like?
Apple products.
Like this. What is the visual palette of the 2010s?
Look like the Black Mirrors. They look like iPhones and iPads. What are you dressed up as? Well, I'm the iPhone 6. I'm the iPad 4.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Like it felt like as the further we dwindled from the year 2000, the less distinct anything looked. It either looked like a previous already decade or nothing.
Everything from like the early 2000s is like extreme neon or like metallic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're from the year 2000 from the viewpoint of 1955. Just everybody in like weird metal cellophane or.
Wow. I guess you've never seen Xenon Girl of the 21st Century.
No. What is that?
It's a Disney Channel original
well, that's
movie.
why I don't know. I wasn't doing the Disney Channel growing up. We didn't have it.
Oh, that's sad. I guess that means you never got to take a date, go on mom's date with a vampire.
No.
Guess you didn't see Phantom of the Megaplex.
No.
Mickey Rooney's in that one.
You know what? Good for him.
You know how old he looks in that one? So old! And you know what? He had like 20 more years.
The Disney Channel's makeup team couldn't spare him a little extra time.
Well, I think he's supposed to be old because he like lives in the theater. It's very strange. It's a weird movie.
Okay, so they want him to look very old.
Yeah, but he was old.
Well, then
He didn't
good
have to do
casting.
much.
Good work, Disney Channel original movies.
Do you think they cast him, or do you think he just wandered on set and he's like, hey, you didn't need me?
They're like, we can write a part for you.
How can I help you?
Wasn't he the Phantom?
Have you seen Breakfast at Tiffany's? I used to be one of the little rascals. I have many questions about kidding. Do you want to start?
We have a lot to talk about, I suppose. It's 10 episodes.
10 episodes.